My dear scholars and scoundrels, casual observers, and those whose eyes are permanently glued to their screens, please follow along this ensuing saga. I present to you an affair so absurd, so mind-numbingly dense in the swirling vortex of internet discourse, that to even engage with it requires a full suit of emotional armor and the intellectual fortitude of a philosopher king.
Reacting to that stuff again, but not just like the Ansar Allah musical about the Saudis, but instead, you know, doing one with like a tier list with the IRA, a tier list with the Algerian National Liberation, Viet Cong, put some Americans in there as well. Because I've done it before. I've done a whole stream with Boy Boy where it was all propaganda videos. No one talks about it for some reason. Why? Because it's not. I'm sure that if
this is just cringe. It's so LARPy and cringy and like from my West Hollywood mansion. It's just so cringe. I don't know.
Destiny's community turned around and made a video about that, a lot of people would focus on that because this is
made a video on what?
Or I've done a whole stream with Boy Boy where it was all propaganda videos. No one talks about it for some reason. Why? Because it's not. I'm sure that if
Boy Boy is his Australian tanky friend, by the way. What? Why would we want to make a video on this?
Destiny's community turned around and made a video about that, a lot of people would focus on that because this is convictionless for people. They never actually explain why this is bad.
He just I feel like is this what it feels like to take Ambien? I feel like listening to Hasan speak it must be the closest I can get to like doing an Ambien. Like I feel dumber. No, like we've explained why it's bad a billion times. What do you mean? It's bad to bring onto your stream and to sympathetically like suck up to them and say everything they're doing is based and awesome without providing any pushback or being honest about what's actually happening on the ground or being honest about the history. I mean, like, what do you mean? We've explained why it's bad a billion times. Like, what? It's just such an empty and hollow complaint. The only one who hasn't said anything about why it's good or why it should be defended is Hasan. Like, that's why all he has are these random, like, drama monger attacks or, like, the whatever random ad homs he can think of. He will never address it. He didn't even watch Ethan Klein's video, did he? Did he ever watch Ethan's video? Ethan's not even, like, a real politics guy or whatever.
Never actually explain why this is bad. Okay? They simply say it's a group and you're pro over and over again. You understand?
Which one do we want to talk about why it's bad? We can talk about the Houthis and why they're bad. We can talk about the fact that other countries literally had to stop sending aid to Yemen because so many of the Houthis were stealing it. We can talk about the fact that over 60,000 children starved to death in Yemen as a result of that ongoing war. I mean, you can talk about like the brutal social crackdowns on things like LGBT stuff, if you give a f about it, that the Houthis were in charge of. We could talk about Hezbollah. I mean, we can talk about how Hezbollah was leading to the destruction of Lebanon, was threatening Lebanese sovereignty, was coordinating with and cooperating with Assad that caused the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Syrian civilians while they did operations in Syria to help Assad maintain power against the FSA and now the whatever the people that took over was. I mean, we could talk about, I mean, like, who do you want to talk about? What do you mean? He's so clueless. That's the game. I'm sorry. I just played the game. I didn't want to, and I played the game. He's just saying random stupid shit. It's all good. It's okay to say the Houthis are bad guys. They were. Hezbollah were bad guys as well. They are. It's okay to say that. They are. These are not great people. Like, it's really easy to just say these guys aren't great people.
Sadly, the biggest funders of the IRA was the USA. Excuse me, that was not a sad thing. That was a massive view for the American Irish population.
Like, everybody that hates America is good, and everybody that likes America or is friendly to America is bad. Like, that's his whole foreign policy outlook. That's the entire foreign policy. Like, how can you be so tediously one-dimensional? Like, it's so cringe. Oh my God. Ugh.
Or, failing that, a man who simply had one too many energy drinks and now feels omniscient. Look, I don't know what it is about watching rich streamers react to things from their cushy West Hollywood mansions, but every time I hear Hasan say, "Bro, this is actually based," I feel like I've been hit with an ambient dart from a CIA operative in a Cold War thriller. You ever try to argue with someone who's both pretending to be a revolutionary and also ordering Postmates from a Michelin star restaurant? It's like debating with a guy in a Che Guevara t-shirt at an Apple store. He's still walking out with an iPhone, but he'll swear he's overthrowing capitalism while he does it. So today, we're diving into Destiny's reaction to HasanAbi's latest foray into international relations, a tier list. Because nothing says nuanced discussion of global conflicts like the same format people use to rank their favorite types of pizza toppings. Hasan is out here putting the Irish guys next to the Viet Cong like he's ranking Call of Duty faction. You got Hezbollah in B tier because they're kind of cool but not like super based. And then somewhere near the bottom is America because, of course, gotta stay on brand. And look, I get it. To the extremely online, everything is WWE. But when you're ranking actual paramilitary groups like their Pokemon, maybe take a step back and ask yourself, am I the guy who unironically calls himself a dialectical materialist and then buys a $4,000 coffee table shaped like Karl Marx's beard? Because I'm starting to think Hasan just really likes any organization that makes America look bad. Destiny, in all his fast-talking, speed chess-playing glory, is losing his mind trying to explain why maybe the Houthis shouldn't be in A tier. He's breaking it down like he's teaching a history class to a room full of drunk Redditors, and meanwhile, Hasan is just nodding along like a golden retriever in an NPR tote bag. Bro, I don't see the problem. It's all vibes, man. But let's get real for a second, because when we talk about these groups, we're not exactly dealing with the cast of Ocean's 11 here. The Houthis, the same guys stealing aid shipments while Yemen starves, the same guys who, if you showed up to one of their meetings and said, "Hey, I'm an LGBT activist," would turn you into a cautionary tale. But yeah, super based dude. Then there's Hezbollah. You ever hear someone say they're just defending Lebanon, while ignoring the part where they basically turned Lebanon into a failed state faster than my uncle ruined Thanksgiving with a conspiracy theory? Yeah, they're real big on sovereignty, right up until they start coordinating with Assad to, casually help slaughter tens of thousands of civilians in Syria. But Hasan says they're resistance fighters, which, to be fair, is what my cousin called himself when he refused to get a job at 35. And then we got the IRA. Now, this one's fun because, surprise, the biggest funder of the IRA was the United States. Yeah, we talk a big game about being anti-terror, but we were out here wiring money to Irish dudes like we were sponsoring a Premier League team. Destiny points this out, and you can almost hear Hasan's brain buffering. Wait, but that's, oh crap, my entire worldview just blue-screened. Bro, let me get back to you after I talk to my tanky Australian friend. And let's not forget, because it always comes down to this, America is the bad guy no matter what. Because in Hasan's world, geopolitics is just a morality play where every villain mustache twirls in English, while every resistance movement is a scrappy underdog who just needs more Patreon donations. It's like he's playing Civilization on easy mode, and America is the AI that always declares war for no reason. Destiny tries, he really tries, to explain that just because America does bad things doesn't mean random group with guns is automatically good. But Hasan's too busy reminiscing about when he made fun of Jordan Peterson that one time, so he just brushes it off with a "dude, you're just being a lib." And then there's that classic move, when backed into a corner, Hasan will always hit you with the "I'm just asking questions" defense. Which, by the way, is also what your weird uncle does when he's 3 beers deep and starts talking about the moon landing. I'm just saying, why haven't we been back? Why do we trust NASA? And more importantly, have you seen this website called InfoWars? By the end of the stream, Destiny looks like he's aged 15 years, Hasan is still vibing in his chair, and I'm sitting here wondering how we got to a place where internet debate lords are deciding who belongs in S tier of global insurgencies. It's like watching history class taught by a dude who just discovered Wikipedia yesterday. And look, maybe I'm the crazy one. Maybe reacting is the future of deep political analysis. Maybe tier lists are the new foreign policy briefings. But if that's the case, I think I'm gonna need an Ambien. Or at least a break from Twitter.